Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk to you about two important things that I have noticed, um, especially with new CNAs, but sometimes older CNAs do this as well. And it's really frustrating, especially if the person is incontinent. Um, so, first of all, a brief. Well, this is like the pull-ups, as some facilities call them. So as you can see, there is a side that is white and there is a side that has lines on it. The lines are meant to go in the back, and sometimes people just feel like it doesn't really matter how it's positioned, but the lines are there for a reason. This is supposed to go in the back. You're not supposed to be able to see these. So when you're putting these on, just remember that this is not for the front. Now you can see there is a color in the front. There is no color. It's just plain. And I don't really have as many problems with that as I do with this other thing that I'm going to talk to you about. And for this, I do have a little like disposable one, but this is true for Chuck's pads, like the actual fabric ones that some facilities use. Not all facilities use them. Some use this. Hospitals use the disposable ones a lot more, but this does not belong like this on somebody's bed. Okay, it doesn't belong behind their head. It does not go like this. It's not supposed to look like this. Okay, it's really not even supposed to go down here. Where this should be on someone when you're making their bed is under their butt. I mean, it's good to have a little bit of coverage. So like the farthest I'll go, like if they're big enough, because some of these, I mean, some people are large, obviously, and these don't cover a whole area, if you know what I mean. But for the most part, you should be able to like stretch it to a little bit behind like the backs of their leg, or the back of their thigh, and a little bit up towards the small of their back. It does not go in the middle of their back. Like when I was working on one of the rehab units that I worked on most recently, there was a couple people on evening shift who always, like, I would come in and anytime I worked after them, the stuff would be like, literally, I'm not even kidding, like obviously this is not completely unfolded, but it would be like all the way up here. And like this is not supposed to be used for that. And if you feel like making beds over and over and over again all of your shift, that's fine. But especially in rehab, it's hard sometimes for people who have just had their hips redone or their knees done or whatever they've had done. It's hard for people to roll back and forth while you're making the bed if they can't get out of the bed, So just keep that in mind. The chucks and the pads, the soaker pads, they do not belong behind someone's head. They do not belong up by someone's shoulders. Yes, they're great to use, but at the same time, it's not going to do you any good if it's up behind their shoulders, up behind their head, and you'll learn eventually when you have somebody who's like a heavy wetter and you stretch the soaker pad or the chucks pad up too high and it completely misses the area where they soak the entire bed, and then you have to change it. So like I said, it is a learning curve. I get it. If you're a new CNA or somebody who's like in your clinicals, I'm not trying to be rude about it, but for your sake and for the sake of the people who work on the shift after you, make sure that you're putting them in the right place. I mean, they don't wet from their head, like, unless they have wounds, which sometimes if they have wounds, I'll take a couple of these and I will layer them. So like, I'll have one that's where it's supposed to be, and then I've had people who have bed sores on their like upper back a little bit, so I will stretch it out, so then there's one down here and then there's another one that goes a little bit higher. Some facilities don't want you to do that, and honestly, with bed sores, most of them have the air mattresses, and you're not really supposed to put things between them and the air mattress other than like one single sheet, not even a fitted sheet, because most of the fitted sheets don't even fit those types of beds. But you're not supposed to layer things underneath them. So definitely go by your facility's policy on that. If they're on an air mattress, obviously if they don't have an air mattress, I would bring that up to your nurse and ask them if they should be on an air mattress, but don't do it in like a disrespectful way. But that's pretty much all I have for this video. I just, it's so frustrating when you go and you have these pads up on the upper back and behind the person's head, and they're not where they're supposed to be. Like, that's not what it's for. It's not to make the pillow more comfortable. It's to try to stop the person from soaking the bed to the point where you need to change the bed multiple times. So anyways, thank you for watching. If there's any other CNA tips that you would like me to share, or anything like that, I would be glad to share it. And with that being said, I will talk to you guys again in my next video.